method that's agile. No one really knows it will be better. But hey, I can be happy. I have a company that's done processes forever and ever. Just go for it, right? How bad could it be? Well, if it's bad, it's definitely not me they're gonna hang, it's that manager. And I just heard he moved to Canada again, so I'm not sure we're gonna have him so long. Or maybe the customers will start getting irritated because it's not so fantastically better quality as they thought it would be, or I don't know. I know that people are very happy with working with Agile, and as I say, that's a very good motivation. Now I'm also saying like this, and this is what they don't like, I'm saying, and I also love to go to parties, and I'm very happy on vacation. You know, I can be happy all the time for you, it's not hard. So maybe it's a little too little controlled for a while, but I think this is the pendulum that happens. When you have too much control, you need to lose the control for a while, and then you have to get back the control, and it's a little bit better because you learn something here. And then it becomes too much, you have to let go again. This happens with processes. So the trick I have to say to you is streamlining, is try to not spend too long time on the work. Try more to think about what's the outcome, what's the problem we're trying to solve, what's the goal we have with this, what are things we can save if we, and maybe what are the important parts in the process that we really need to have the same way. Maybe not bother so much by all of it is exactly the same. Maybe some variety we can live with, but what are things we cannot live with? For instance, we have different definitions of what a past test case is. That's not a good, that's a problem. Or when we talk, I mean, it took me a long time when I started to work when I was young to realize when people talk about how long time does something take in a time plan, they never included configuration management, testing, and preparation, and all the meetings you had to go to. So the plan was like the work time of the development. Well, that's not a good plan. You have to include all the correction of the faults and all that work. Okay, so let's move on. Now, magically going to difference. Problem, strength, opportunities, and we tend to forget the personal leadership we have. This is my thing. I think if you find this exercise a bit hard, you must empower yourself. You must feel like you can change things. When you feel I can't do anything about problems, then you sort of have what I call, you moved into the back seat of the car. Or maybe you're taking on to big problems. So that could be one of the things. So, take action. Do something about stuff. And for you, I'm thinking Kaizen. Maybe one way is you read it up and say, but I mean, maybe you should go and visit Japan. Because honestly, I've seen the most fantastic implementation of Kaizen. And then you realize, yeah, it's very culture-oriented also. They really take this serious. So I had this example on this lean, I was at this lean workshop, and they were saying, the difference is in Japan, that they all take pride in their work. So they had these cleaning ladies cleaning out the train, but all of them try to do it as fast and as perfect and good as possible every day. And they're trying to find ways how to do it even smarter and faster and better. And these were just cleaning the cart, right? So I'm thinking for me, that's much more how you think about stuff. So one way to say, and what I'm trying to teach is, and I think I have a slide on that. I do. It comes right down there. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make a change. And that's Michael Jackson. I'm not as good singer as he, but this is really the thing. So if you really want to make a change, start with yourself. So how can I, Kaizen, improve my work, right? Little by little. How can I take action? How can I go for it? So this is really my teaching, is, you have to start by saying, okay, how can I become faster in the way I work? Not only how can I get everyone else motivated, much more, what is it that motivates me to do my work better? So you see this for your whole team. But the trick is to see it for yourself and trying to find guidance when you change yourself, because that's the best guidance you can give to someone else. Are you with me? So, what's your advice to CEO in the elevator? Maybe we are putting out the software a bit too fast. Maybe it's more important that we have quality, and that takes time. Yeah. Yeah, you do. Now, now I have to tell you this story, just for you. I cannot stop myself. So in Ericsson, we talked about, or I should say Ericsson. I don't know where I learned this. Maybe it's a joke on the net sometime. But it's like, they call it, management. So of course I've been in management, and I've done all different kind of management stuff. And they say there are two types of management. One is called management for dogs. That's the market people. You throw a bone, and everyone goes, right? So the bone could be, let's all go agile, and then you have all the dogs going, agile, right? But with the developers, that's being a manager for cats. I don't know if you have a cat, and you know how they behave, but you really have to lure them with some good food, right? Otherwise, and they might or they might not come to the place, right? So this is the difference between dog management and cat management, right? So I don't know, it's a difference between, and we usually historically joked about that cat management, that's being a manager of developers. They all know how to solve all the problems, and you have to sort of lure them to fix problems, right? And you're talking to this dog management, right? He will answer the same thing. You understand the story? So whatever you will ask, he will answer the same thing. So that's a bit, the trick is learning how to throw the bone. And I think some are better than it than another. I'm not very good at a bone thrower. I'm one of those who sort of get into under people's skin and stay with them, and they wake up at night and say, I thought about what you said, and I get this mail. I got this mail actually, 2 years ago, I heard you at an Ericsson internal test. We had this test conference, bigger than this, internally in Ericsson, and say, I heard you, and I just must say, because I blog internally at Ericsson, that, this was the best blog post, and I'm so happy I got to hear you. And this guy, I never met him, I don't know who he is, and of course this is for me, the kind of letter that makes my heart really warm. And, you don't know, so the trick is how to figure out how you can influence this business manager. But some are crocodiles. Big mouth, very small ears, right? And I also thought sometimes, with this, I was also feeling agile was a big threat when it came to Ericsson in the beginning, especially after having worked so hard with fixing all the processes, and so now we had the best predictive, I can't say it, prediction of measurements. I can tell exactly when projects are late and not, and how good the testing is, and blah, blah, blah. And now you're going to throw all that away. So I thought it was a big threat. But I'm thinking also that this is when you change as a person, So instead of just saying, this is all shit, I don't want to be there, I don't have to say Agile is fantastic. I can just be quiet for a while and say, okay, what's good about this, what's bad about this, and this is when I become the scientist. So, storytelling. So I have one more here. Life Strategies by Dr. Phil. So I had this book with me. I don't know, do you know Dr. Phil here in Malaysia? Do you have that on telly? No, it's an American, it's Oprah. You know Oprah? He was on Oprah for a long while as, her psychology guy. Now he started his own show and he has a lot of Dr. Phil. And he's written this book about life strategies. And I actually thought that was very, very good reading. So for me, that's like, it's not a job book. It's the book you write, you read, the life strategies. About taking control over your own life, taking your own, strategies in your own life. And he has a lot of good exercises there. And even if to be honest, I don't agree with everything he preaches, and this is the thing, don't take everything as good and everything as bad, you judge. But what you can do is you can think about this and transfer the knowledge into testing, my everyday work, what's happening. So this is my advice. Yeah. So be your own boss. That's basically the thing. That's the teaching. Okay, so from Michael Jackson and Dr. Phil, you're thinking, I'm out there. Now let's hit the really hard one. Perfect timing, right, Sarah? So this is the tough. Now we're really diving into the deep stuff on testing. Here I challenge you a lot. This is a lot of, you see, I have 16 groups there of stuff. Sarah, you show the how it looks like, this one. So I think it's the next exercise. It's on the side, it's the one on the side, right? No? We haven't gone even through processes, we're late as anything. So this is the process. It's not there? So it's how good is my process? Yeah, okay. So these are a lot of areas. So the next one will really be process stuff. So we're sort of skipping ahead. So do you know about test processes, all of you? You know about all the steps. So hand up, just to make sure, how much do you know? Do you know test process? You know the different step in the test process, and you would be familiar. When I show you a list like this, do you understand most of what it says? Yes. So the girls who says yes are fine. So it's really hard. So everyone put their hand up who think, yes, I know at least most of this list. Yes, yes, maybe, no, no. Okay, so who does not? The other hand. There are parts of this I don't. Look at the list. So if you don't even know either or the other, I don't know what to do now. Strategy decision.